This was me 6 months ago. I was already lifting for 2 years and I felt stuck after not making much progress. Here's me now. I gained 20 plus pounds while keeping my abs after following the Dark Knight protocol, which is the protocol I'm going to give you guys in this video. All right, so if you want the same results I got, make sure you guys go grab a pen and paper and take notes because this is the only video you need to get fast results like me. Let's get straight into it. Here is the Dark Knight protocol we got here. So we have the 3 pillars right here. 3 pillars. We have training, nutrition, and recovery. Training, nutrition, and recovery are the 3 pillars we want to follow for building the Dark Knight body. All right, if you guys don't know what the Dark Knight body is, the Dark Knight body is basically going to be a body similar to Batman. All right, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is training. All right, and if you guys don't know what this stands for, T stands for training, N stands for nutrition, and R stands for recovery. All right, so these are going to be the 3 things you want to focus on. All right, and the first thing we're going to be talking about is training. So whenever we train, like I said, we want to build a Batman style body. So we want to train like an athlete and a bodybuilder. This is my style of training. So we want to focus on being very athletic and train like a bodybuilder. All right, so to do this, you want to start by following a push-pull leg split. All right, so follow a push-pull leg split. And my handwriting right here might be like the best handwriting you guys will ever see. Like, this is like, I wrote this perfectly right here. So follow a push-pull leg split. That's going to be step number 1 for training. All right, the reason why I love doing push-pull legs is because push-pull legs is going to be very balanced, right? You only go to the gym 3 times a week when you do this, and you get to rest 4 times a week. All right, so on push day, you're going to be focused on hitting the chest, the shoulders, and the triceps. On pull day, you're going to be focused on hitting the back and the biceps. And on leg day, you're going to be focused on hitting all the leg muscles, of course. All right. Also, for leg day, you can combine this with a lot of athleticism stuff too, because we want to train like an athlete too. But we're going to get more into that in just a minute. So you're going to follow a push-pull leg split. Like I said, this is very balanced. And basically, how I do it is I go and do push day on Monday. So I'm going to right beside her. Push day Monday, pull day Wednesday, and leg day Friday. All right, you follow this push-pull leg split plan, and you will make a lot of gains. All right, so that's going to be the training aspect. That's going to be the program we want to follow. All right, the next thing we want to do is prioritize compound lifts plus, I'm gonna leave it blank for a second. All right, so you want to prioritize compound lifts. All right, the reason why compound lifts in the gym is very important is because compound lift is where you're going to build a lot of the strength. All right, so an example of a compound lift is going to be like bench press, dips, pull-ups. All right, all these workouts will hit multiple muscle groups at once. So for instance, on bench press, you're going to be hitting your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps all at the same time. All right, so instead of you going to like a tricep extension exercise where you're only hitting the triceps, only one muscle group, you're actually hitting a lot more muscle groups at once. That's why you got to be prioritizing your compound lifts if you're actually trying to build strength, especially if you're a beginner. All right. And how you can do this is basically you start the workout with doing a compound lift so you can hit all the muscle groups at once. Then you end the workout with hitting like the one single muscle group. All right. You don't want to just hit one single muscle group the whole workout and call it a day because you're not going to make as much gains and your strength is not going to be going up at all. All right. The next thing you want to do is focus on progressive overload. All right, progressive overload. You want to prioritize, or not prioritize, you want to focus on progressive overload. The reason why progressive overload is important is because this is where you're actually making more strength gains. All right, so for instance, let's say you bench 135 pounds, 5 reps, and then your most recent session, right? The next session, you want to focus on doing 135 pounds for 6 reps. All right. And if you just go up every single time, you're not going to always go up every single time, right? That's not always going to happen. Sometimes you will have days where you kind of just stay the same. But as long as you're like progressing every time just a little bit, you're going to be getting better every single time. That's where the progressive overload comes in handy. All right. This is where a lot of the strength comes in from just doing progressive overload. All right. So you want to prioritize compound lifts and progressive overload to maximize your strength gains in the gym. All right. The final thing you want to do is train like an athlete. So you can do this by playing a sport. So that's what I'm going to put right here. Play a sport. The reason why I'm playing a sport is important is because Now you can like, get the strength training dialed in. You got the bodybuilding dialed in. You got all that stuff ready, but you're still not going to be as mobile as you can be by playing a sport. All right. So the reason why I say playing a sport instead of doing your typical cardio, like going on a treadmill, run a mile, is because playing a sport is a lot more fun. It's a lot more easier to enjoy doing the cardio you're doing. So whenever you enjoy doing the cardio more, you're going to do it longer. And whenever you do it longer, you're going to make more gains than the person who's just hopping on the treadmill for like 30 minutes. All right. So if you're playing a sport, you can pick any sport you like. You can do a combat sport like boxing, martial arts, jiu-jitsu, any of that stuff. You can play your typical sports like basketball, football, soccer. All right, any sport that's going to get you moving, you want to, look into. All right, and the one you think you're going to have the most fun with, you want to go with that one. All right, and you just do that. You put a lot of effort into that sport. Like you want to become really good at that sport. That's what you want to be focusing on. Becoming very good at the sport that you chose. All right, so if you do this, you will make a lot of gains in your athleticism journey. So, for instance, let's say you're playing basketball, right? If you're playing basketball, you want to become the most athletic person possible. So, on your off time, you might want to put more effort into doing plyometrics, isometrics, because it's going to get you better at basketball. It's going to get you more athletic, get you to the rim easier. All right. So, that's what you want to do. You want to play a sport so you can become more athletic, and you really want to become good at the sport. Like, no joke, you want to become like the best of the best at the sport. That's the goal for this, to really become athletic and have the most fun possible. All right, that's what the training program is going to be. So follow a push-pull leg split, prioritize compound lifts and progressive overload, and play a sport. Like I said, the reason why you want to play a sport is because you're actually going to enjoy it, right? There's an objective. So you're going to be hitting a lot of mindless cardio while doing it mindlessly. And if you want to play a sport, you don't even have to join a team. You can literally go to like your pickup basketball court and go play basketball with the people there, or you can go to like a soccer field where a lot of people are playing soccer at, or you can join a league, and that's where you're gonna make most of the gains at if you join a league. But you can do either one and it'll work. Now the second thing we're gonna be talking about is nutrition. All right, so nutrition, we're gonna be following lean bulking. All right, so lean bulking is gonna be the priority for nutrition. And the reason why I want to be doing lean bulking is because if you lean bulk, you're going to make like you're gonna get a lot bigger, but in a healthy way where you're not getting like fat, you're getting overly chubby. Because a lot of people don't actually want to bulk because they do it the wrong way, and I'm gonna tell you guys that in a second. But so for lean bulking is prioritizing clean eating while in a surplus. Dirty bulking is gonna be dirty eating, basically eating, bad food while on a surplus. And if you do the second option, this is what's gonna get you fat. This is why a lot of people don't want to bulk in general, is because they're bulking the wrong way. They're dirty bulking, right? So if you do a lean bulk, you eat only clean foods, you will not get fat, right? You will keep your abs, you'll keep your jawline, you'll keep all that stuff without getting fat. All right, that's the reason why most people don't want to bulk, is because they're gonna get too big, right? Just don't dirty bulk and you'll be 100% okay. That a good example for dirty bulking is you look at a guy like Sam Sulek, right? Sam Sulek, he dirty bulks, right? So in like 2023, I used to watch some of his videos because I was just getting into the gym at the time, and I just see him eating all these donuts, all these junk foods, all these bad foods. He's eating like 8 donuts. He's eating like a whole pizza box, right, just to get his macros in. He's eating McDonald's, all these bad places to go to get calories, and he's getting fat, right? He's getting a lot of acne all over him, right? Of course, part of it is steroids, but a big part of it is just the food he's eating too. All right, so you don't want to look at Sam Sulek when it comes to bulking, right? He's a great, gym influencer, right? YouTuber, all of that. But for the lean bulking protocol, you do not want to take the Sam Sulek route where you're trying to just get your macros in, your calories in. You want to just focus on getting your calories in, but with the right foods. All right. You don't want to just think of a bulk like, oh, I can eat whatever I want because I'm bulking. No, you want to actually eat clean foods, 100% clean. All right. That's going to be step number one, eating a 100% clean. All right. 100% clean foods. So get rid of all the garbage in your house, right? Get rid of all that stuff. So if you have a whole bunch of cookies, throw out the cookies. If you have, pizza in the fridge, throw that pizza out, right? And replace this with actual food, right? And if you want to eat like a real dessert instead of, cookies and all that stuff, eat some fruit, right? Fruit is there for a reason, right? You can eat fruit as a dessert instead of eating cookies, right? So throw the cookies out, throw any of the garbage foods out of your house, ice cream, junk food, stuff with seed oils in it, processed sugars in it, preservatives in it. You just want to eat 100% clean, like I said. So you want to focus on eating actual food, like real food. Okay. The reason why I'm telling you guys to throw everything out is because and replace it with the actual real foods is because there's gonna be some friction there now. Instead of you know going to the kitchen and seeing a whole bunch of Oreos and like, oh, I want some Oreos, you go and see the kitchen and you see a whole bunch of fruits and there's no Oreos. If you want Oreos, you have to drive all the way to the store, and you're not gonna want to do that, right? So you want to have that friction in between the junk food and the clean foods, and make the clean foods very accessible and the junk food very hard to get. All right, you want to build that friction. That's why I say you got to get rid of it entirely. So if you want to actually go get the junk food, you have to drive all the way to the store, which you do not want to do. All right. So eat 100% clean foods. That's going to be number one. All right. If you want to truly make gains, if you want to truly be locked in, you got to be eating 100% clean. All right. Next, you want to eat foods that prioritize protein. So you want to eat foods that prioritize protein. All right. So some great examples of this is going to be your protein powders, right? And basically any animal protein like meats, and you can also have plant protein like beans and stuff, right? All these are going to be great sources of protein, right? And I know a lot of you guys got protein dialed in, so I'm not going to really dive too deep into this, but you want to eat your typical high protein foods. All right. And you also want to focus on testosterone whenever it comes to eating. So whenever you look at testosterone, you want to look at what our ancestors would eat, right? What did our ancestors eat? Were they eating cookies? Were they eating ice cream? Were they eating pizzas? No. Just think, what did our ancestors eat? Were they literally eating all that garbage? They were not. They were eating actual, high quality food from animals. Okay. If you follow something like this, where you're eating high protein foods and eating foods that will focus on your testosterone, you will make a lot more gains in the gym. And your quality of life, the way you feel, is going to skyrocket up too. All right. A good example for this can be like eggs, meat, fish, chicken. All these are great options that prioritize protein and testosterone at the same time. And the final thing for nutrition, the final step is going to be making your own protein shake. All right, so make protein shake. All right, so the reason why you want to make your own protein shake is because liquid calories is like the easiest way to actually, get bigger in general. All right, so if you just consume a lot of liquid calories, you will be able to make a lot of gains. So what I recommend is you eat the testosterone boosting foods throughout the day, and then the last meal you have for the day, you want to have a big protein shake that gives you all of like the little nutrients you need. All right, so for me, I have my own personal protein shake that I call the Absolute Batman Bulking Shake. Right, that's what I call it, the Absolute Batman Bulking Shake. All right, and I do have that in the link in the description to the Batcave. But for you guys, you just want to make your own bulking shake. You guys can start by just adding some simple stuff like a fruit. So like maybe bananas. You can add some protein powder. And you can just add like extra stuff that's going to get the calories in. So some examples for this could be like nuts, oats. All right, all these things can get the calories up. And that's the whole goal. You want to get a lot of calories through this bulking shake while getting protein while staying 100% clean. All right, and that's the goal for making the bulking shake. All right, like I said, I have my own personal Batman bulking shake, but if you guys want to get that, you guys have to join the Batcave, link in the description. And finally, for recovery, you want to prioritize sleep for recovery. All right, that's gonna be the main focus for recovery, is focusing on your sleep. All right, sleep is very important because this is where basically all the recovery comes in. Right, there's other methods that you can do, right, but the main thing that's going to really help you recover is going to be sleeping. All right, so I'm going to play a clip from my course talking about why sleep is very important. So this could be this drug right here. This is human growth hormone. So people take this all the time. Bodybuilders take stuff like this. People take this to really maximize their growth in the gym and gains. The reason why human growth hormone is so important because like it grows your muscles more, right? But if you didn't know this already, your body already produces natural growth hormone. Your body already produces this shit naturally. Let's say you sleep 4 hours a night, right? And then you inject human growth hormone into you, right? You inject human growth hormone into yourself, right? Then you got the guy who sleeps like me, 9 to 10 hours a night, right? Consistently on the daily basis, right? Who's going to produce more human growth hormone? Try to guess. Will it be the guy who's actually injecting it? Right? Because he's going to actually inject a lot more into his muscles, right? Or is it going to be a guy like me who doesn't even inject it, but actually gets to sleep? Try to guess. 3, 2, 1. Me. I will get the most human growth hormone in this situation because your body already produces natural human growth hormone. So why do you need to add this in if you're not already even getting your sleep, right? Now, the only reason this is valid, add human growth hormone, inject it. The only reason why this will ever be valid is if you're already getting sleep. Same with steroids. The only reason why it will ever be valid for you to, take testosterone boosting steroids and all that type of stuff. The only reason that would ever be valid is if you already done like all the natural methods to boost your testosterone and you want to just get it up more and take it to the next level, right? That's the only reason why this will ever be valid for you. All right. If you can just, naturally do it, which is also going to be so much more healthier for you and less detrimental to your health, do that. All right. So as you guys know, you need to prioritize your sleep so you can maximize your HGH, your human growth hormone, which will allow you to build your muscles a lot bigger. All right. So step number 1 is going to be sleeping 9 to 10 hours a night. Sleep 9 to 10 hours. Sleep 9 to 10 hours a night consistently every single day. There's a lot of methods for maximizing your sleep. So get your circadian rhythm right. So go to the bed at the same time every night. Basically is what I'm saying. Go to the bed at the same time every single night if you want to maximize your sleep. Have a wind down routine that fully relaxes you for the night, and have a very comfortable bed. Have a completely dark room, cold room. This is going to really help you have a higher quality sleep in quantity of sleep. I know a lot of you guys are not going to be able to get this 9 to 10 hours, but it is possible if you really put your mind to it, right? It's very easy to get 9 to 10 hours if you just really have the right routine, okay? I know a lot of you guys might have other stuff going on, right? You might get home from school, and a lot of you guys might go to work, right? And if you do that, then of course it's not going to really be easy to get this sleep. But you just got to, focus on like, what's your main goal? Is your main goal getting money right now? Is your main goal building the best physique possible? And if it's building the best physique possible, you need to be getting 9 to 10 hours a night. All right. So that's going to be step number 1, 9 to 10 hours a night, because this is where all the recovery is going to come in, because all the human growth hormone is coming in when you sleep. All right. Sleep is basically a natural drug. Next, you want to manage your stress levels. All right. So this is going to kind of correlate back to sleep again, because if you don't get enough sleep, you're going to be a lot more stressed, right? If you don't recover right, you're going to be a lot more stressed because you're going to have that chronic stress, right? If you're not eating the right foods, you're going to be a lot more stressed. So if you just follow all the steps that I gave you guys previously, this shouldn't really be a problem for you guys. But some extra things you guys can do for managing your stress levels is going to be meditating, sleeping, of course, and focus on your recovery. This is how you can manage your stress levels. You can do stuff like gratitude, all those type of things can really help the stress levels. All right, but you do not want to be stressed, because if you're stressed, stress eats up the body. You're going to lose out on a lot of the gains, and your quality of life is just going to go down too. You're going to probably get sick a lot more. And if you're getting sick a lot more, you're not going to be able to make as much gains in the gym because you're just taking too much time off. All right, so manage your stress levels and you will make more gains. Finally, take rest days. All right, so if you just follow the plan I already gave you guys, like the push-pull leg split plan up here, if you follow this plan, you will be able to do this. So take rest days, because you're only going to be working out like 3 to 4 times a week. All right. So if you just follow like I said, if you follow the push-pull leg split plan, you will be able to take your proper rest days. All right. The reason why rest days is important, because even if you are getting the 9, 10 hours a night, if you're just working out every single day, you're still going to have a lot of fatigue on your body from previous workout sessions. All right. And eventually that fatigue adds up, it builds up, and it can lead to injuries. It can lead to you even getting sick, right? And you don't want any of that for you. I don't want that for you. Okay. So to recap the video, we want to focus on training, nutrition, and recovery. All right. So for training, you want to follow a push-pull leg split. You want to prioritize your compound lifts and add progressive overload to it. You want to play a sport. And for nutrition, you want to lean bulk, not a dirty bulk, lean bulk, eat 100% clean so you don't get fat. All right. Make sure you focus on foods that are clean, high protein, high testosterone, or not high testosterone, but foods that will benefit your testosterone, like our ancestors ate. And make your own protein shake that can consist of a lot of liquid calories that can really help you get your calories in. All right. In a healthy way, of course. In an easy way, of course. All right. And then finally, the recovery, sleep 9 to 10 hours a night, manage stress, and take rest days. All right. You do all this, and you will build the Batman body. All right. Let me try drawing the bat. Like, You will build the Batman body if you follow this. All right, that is terrible, but you know, it does the job. All right, so if you made this far in the video, make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you guys can never miss the upload. I'm gonna be posting every Sunday, once a week. All right, so stay tuned for that. All right, if you want to join the Batcave will be linked in the description. All right, it's a pre-sale going on right now, so make sure you guys join as soon as possible so you don't miss out on the price going up. All right, because the price will be going up soon. Okay, and leave a comment down below which one of these 3 pillars is going to be your main priority. Leave a comment down below if you're trying to work on your training the most, your nutrition the most, your recovery the most. I'm very curious to see what you guys are interested in on focusing on. All right, so hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.